Very good evening. Thank you very much for choosing GHOne TV. My name is Kweku Temeng. It's always a delight when we join you in the evening with the latest happenings throughout the country. Tonight we'll tell it as it is. We'll bring you all the details. But before we do so, let's look at some of the top stories that we have tonight. And here, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo dares President Mahama to state his position on the current fight against illegal mining as he touts efforts his government has made in its quest to end the menace.
We have yet to hear from the NDC presidential candidate. I'm asking him to also come out and support the idea of a political pact on Galamsey.
Also coming up tonight, victims of Bujuburam dynamite blast demand compensation from road contractor. Chief appeals for calm to allow for investigations into the matter.
With respect to compensation, if they can hasten up, because the previous damages that we suffered, they took the details, they took our estimates and everything.
Tonight we'll bring you the latest happenings from our world of politics. And here in politics on your election hub tonight, majority leader seeks legal redress as minority attempts to push for a declaration of 3 majority seats vacant in parliament.
Filed a writ at the Supreme Court. Parliament has been duly served. There is an injunction application also attached to the writ, also duly served.
Tonight we'll bring you updates from our world of business, and also ahead in business, Ghana Standards Authority set to introduce mandatory management system for mining. Tonight we have these and many other interesting stories making the 1 hour bulletin. Don't you forget that we'll be bringing you some updates from our world of sport, and then we'll fill you in on some entertainment news. Be my guest. Stay with us in the next 1 hour as we tell it all as it is. This is News Tonight. My name is Kweku Temeng. Thank you very much for choosing GHOne TV. Well, tonight there's a lot happening in Parliament, and definitely when we tell you that we are your election hub, we go straight to Parliament and bring you all the details. Let's cross over and bring you all the happenings in Parliament live.
Take a step towards it by filing as an independent candidate and yet claim to be a member of the party. The step taken to contest against his party automatically triggers forfeiture of membership. Having forfeited his membership of the party on which ticket he was elected to Parliament, the operative language of the Constitution is that he shall, which is mandatory, vacate his seat in Parliament. Going by a purposive interpretation of the present law, constructive action on the part of the MP is important. With all intents and purposes, he is no longer a member of the party. He has pronounced himself publicly as an independent candidate and has filed papers to compete against the party and its official candidate as an independent candidate on the 7th December 2020. On that occasion, this current parliament will still be sitting and operating as an official parliament of the Republic of Ghana. We shall not have a situation adopted freely by any city MP where he or she would be campaigning openly against the party that he or she still represents in Parliament, and yet ridiculously stands against the party. No purposive interpretation of law will allow such a ridicule to prevail. Mr. Speaker, furthermore, after 7th December 2020, when Parliament is still in session till 7th January 2021, how does an MP operate both as an elected independent MP and at the same time an MPP member if he should win the election? This lacuna of a ridiculous situation is not what is anticipated under the 1992 Constitution. In the circumstances, it is determined that the conduct of Honorable Andrew Amakwesiama amounts to vacating his seat in Parliament. Accordingly, we bring this to the notice of the Electoral Commission for the necessary action to be taken in accordance with the law. Signed, the Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the gravamen of this argument is eruditely captured by the ruling of Professor Michael Kweku. Mr. Speaker, to conclude, we are saying that the matters as envisaged by the Constitution in Article 97 are clearly given birth by the conduct of our four colleagues. And Mr. Speaker, we are only urging upon you to enforce the decision ably given by Professor Michael Kweku on 7th November 2020. Mr. Speaker, which decision has remained unchallenged and remained good law and has guided this House ever since. So, Mr. Speaker, I will want to pray you that the need to elect another deputy speaker, which must come from NDC side because of Article 93 of the Constitution, is rife. And I believe that awareness, that reality is what has shocked the conscience of our brothers. And they must know that the Constitution, the enforcement of the Constitution, is our above duties that we must uphold. Mr. Speaker, with these words, I thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, I think they should end it. I will allow the chairman of the Committee, Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. No, Constitutional and Legal. Yes, you can make your comment. And then who?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That means he will speak for and on behalf, and that will be the end. Okay. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is very interesting. And Mr. Speaker, you have allowed us, and I'm grateful that you've given me an opportunity to comment on this. Mr. Speaker, looking at the procedure under which the application had been made before you, I was tempted to believe that this exercise, apart from comments, is much ado about nothing. The Article 93, under which the applicant had made this application, Order 93, Mr. Speaker, and other speakers had said it, that 93(6) says, where a member makes a statement, the Speaker, considering the comments on the statement, may direct a committee to investigate and inquire into the matters, and where necessary, propose legislation. Mr. Speaker, I think the effect of this is to enrich our laws. The provisions under Article 97 were put into the Constitution historically because of what have happened in the nation. Mr. Speaker, in the First Republic, people were just literally living from one political party to the other. And Mr. Speaker, you are a veteran in this House, and I would want to remind you of Wayoseni, who physically crossed carpet to the other side of the aisle. Mr. Speaker, that was the purpose of such a provision, that people must not cross carpet during the session of the Parliament. We are in the 8th Parliament, and we are preparing to go for the 9th Parliament. The intention, therefore, is that whilst we are in the 8th Parliament, you cannot cross carpet to the other side of the aisle. Mr. Speaker, this is what the Constitution is preventing. Now, my colleague had read the ruling of the then Speaker in greater detail, and I think that with a greater respect to the learned professor, Mr. Speaker, I think that if we are listening to him very well, and I don't want to bore you to read through, most of the things are contradictory in the ruling. Mr. Speaker, a portion that my colleague read reads, the Constitution of the NPP, which the MP freely subscribes to, provides in Article 931 that a member of a party who stands as an independent candidate against the officially elected member of the party, or who joins or defers his or her support for another political party or for an independent candidate when the party has sponsored a candidate in a general or by election, automatically forfeits his or her membership of the party. Mr. Speaker, let us not forget that the NPP as a party petitioned the Speaker of Parliament then that Honorable Andrew Amakwa-Siama had been removed as from the party because he had crossed carpet to the other side. And the MPP referred to its constitution, and this is what Speaker Mike Okwe was referring to, not any other constitution. Mr. Speaker, the learned former speaker referred us to Article 55.5, and with your permission, I may want to read. 55.5 says that the internal organization of a political party shall conform to democratic principles. 55.6. An organization shall operate as a political party unless it is registered as such under the law for... No, that's not what I want you. Every political party shall have a national character, and a membership shall not be based on ethnic, religious, regional, or other sectional divisions. And it goes on to say that political parties, would the political parties would organize its own internal affairs with law. And that is what Professor Michael K. was referring to. In the Hansard, Mr. Speaker, it was referring to the new Patriotic Party Constitution. And the new Patriotic Party Constitution, which they petitioned the Speaker that the gentleman, that is Andrew Asiama, had violated the MPP Constitution. And the MPP removed him as a member of the party and went ahead to tell the Speaker that they had removed him. Mr. Speaker, what we have and the processes and the procedure that had been used is a comment by a member of Parliament, not petitioning the Speaker, not petitioning Parliament, just saying that he thinks that a member had filed. Mr. Speaker, we are in the 8th Parliament, and everything that any person plans to do.
Yeah, Honorable Chairman, I think in trying to quote the Constitution vis-a-vis that of the MPP Party Constitution, you seem to have maybe slipped and not gotten the article rightly. So you didn't get enough time to go back to read it. I think that is what has ignited Honorable Bernard Ahiafo to be on her feet. So I'll give him the chance to draw attention to what it is. Please, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the ruling of Right Honorable Professor Michael Kwe is very clear. It's stating that based on Article 391 of the Constitution of the MPP, the member who has decided to contest as an independent candidate ceases automatically to be a member of the MPP. It is for that reason. That's why the Secretary, the General Secretary, is invoking Article 97(1) of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana to declare the position vacant. So you need to come clearly about what the ruling of Right Honorable Makokwe is saying.
No, but the issue the chair was drawing our attention to is that the statement was contradictory. And he was trying to read Article 55(5), which deals with the democratic procedures of each political party in handling such matters, which, according to him, was not adhered to by the MPP. So he was trying to say that those provisions were contradictory. The position taken by the former speaker vis-a-vis the provision in the party constitution and that of the constitution. But he didn't get it right. So I really understand why you are raising your point of order, but please let's allow him to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the distinction I want to draw here is that no political party had petitioned this House, and no political party had removed any person from his membership, and nobody had complained before this House. What we have this afternoon before us is a comment that a member of Parliament, a statement that a member of Parliament had made, and we are invited to make comments. And Mr. Speaker, I think this would not give us or would not give you the right to pronounce on the fact that a member of Parliament, a seat of a member of Parliament must be declared vacant. Mr. Speaker, under the rules, under Order 93, the best that can happen is for this matter to be referred to a committee. And if anything, if there is any mischief that this comment, the comments in addition to the statement, would seek to cure, Mr. Speaker, then it may lead to a law. And as I would want to repeat, Mr. Speaker, that apart from the provision that I have referred to, I think that this exercise is much ado about nothing. In the end, Professor Mike Okwe's ruling, and I would want to read the last but one column that he says. He says, further, after 7th December 2020, when Parliament is still in session, till 7th January 2021, how does an MP operate both as an elected independent MP and at the same time an MPP MP if he should win the election? He goes on, the lacuna of a ridiculous situation, this lacuna of a ridiculous situation is not what is anticipated under the 1992 Constitution. End of quote. Mr. Speaker, I was a civil servant when I was elected as a member of Parliament. When I was elected as a member of Parliament, I did not breach any law until I became a member of Parliament of this House on 7th of January 2009. Meanwhile, I was elected in 2008, December 2008. Being elected as a member of Parliament is different, Mr. Speaker, from being a member of Parliament. And I do not think that it will cause any problem. And besides, when he concludes, he refers the matter to the Electoral Commission to take action. Mr. Speaker, we were in this House. We didn't see anything. That's why I said that I would say the ruling was a shows, and Mr. Speaker must not be invited to go by that. Mr. Speaker, I'll refer, before I sit, I'll refer, Mr. Speaker, to Article 99(1) of our Constitution, and it says, the High Court shall have jurisdiction to hear and determine any question whether a person has been validly elected as a member of Parliament or the seat of a member has become vacant. Mr. Speaker, so these matters, Mr. Speaker, if anybody would want to say that the seat of a member is vacant, I think the person must walk to the court and for the court to make a determination. When the learned majority leader had informed us that he had gone to the Supreme Court to seek interpretation of a law, he is right. He has a right to go to court, and anybody can go to court and ask for interpretation of any clause that he doesn't understand. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity.
Yes, Honorable Cletus Avoka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful that you have given me the opportunity to make some few remarks with regard to this issue. Particularly so when I was a member of the Consultative Assembly, the defunct Consultative Assembly, that had some reasons behind some of the provisions that we had made. Mr. Speaker, I'm going to argue on two main grounds. One, on the spirit and letter of the Constitution of 1992, And 2, on common sense, practicality and common sense. If we apply practicality and common sense in this matter, we will not have been laborious as our opponents on the other side have subjected us to this evening. Mr. Speaker, if we look at Article 1, Chapter 1, Article 1 of the Constitution, it is referring to the sovereignty of the people of this country. That whatever we do in this country, whether in the executive or by the executive, the judiciary and parliament, we should know that we derive our authority, our strength and our power from the sovereign will of the people and not from any other source. So whatever we do, we must have recourse to the people who are giving us the power to undertake those activities. Having said so, Mr. Speaker, let me read Article 1.1 to you and to my colleagues. The sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people of Ghana, in whose name and for whose welfare the powers of government are to be exercised in the manner and within the limits laid down in this Constitution. So the sovereignty of the whole country rests with the people, is vested in the people. Now, if you look at Article 35(1) of the same Constitution, that is with the directive principle of state policy, that deals with political objectives. Article 35(1), Mr. Speaker, says, and I quote, "Ghana shall be a democratic state dedicated to the realization of freedom and justice, and accordingly, sovereignty resides in the people of Ghana, from whom government derives all its powers and authority to this Constitution." And finally, Article 125 of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, established this issue of sovereignty resting in the people that I'm talking about. Article 125. It deals with the judiciary. Article 125(1). Justice emanates from the people and shall be administered in the name of the Republic by the judiciary, which shall be independent and subject only to this Constitution. So the combined effect of these 3 articles in the Constitution that I refer this August House to is indicative of the fact that whatever we do, we must have recourse to our people. So it is the people in every constituency belonging to a particular party that goes to primaries to elect a representative to represent them in the elections. After the primaries, it is the same people who, in the general election, elect somebody to come and represent them in this August House. It is the same people, if you stand as an independent candidate, then they rally behind you and elect you to come to this house because they have common objectives that they want you to come here and articulate. So, if you come to this August House and you have to leave or you have to go and join another party for an election, whether as a party member or you are going to become an independent member, it seems against the principle of not contacting the sovereign will of the people, or you have betrayed the sovereign will of the people. You have disparaged the interest they have given you. You and them had a package. Our 4 colleagues who are here and some are going independent, others are coming to a different party, they have had a package, they had a pact, they had an agreement with their respective constituents to come and articulate and support a particular party for 4 years. So if 3-4 months to that, they are tenure coming to an end, you go and betray the party and then now to belong to a different party or to belong for a particular interest. You have betrayed the people, you have betrayed the trust they have reposed in you, and therefore you cease to be a member of that party from the day that you file your nomination with the Electoral Commission. The day that you file your nomination, you cease to belong to that party. And therefore, Article 97 comes into play. Mr. Speaker, so the Constitution had done that because they wanted us to depart from the practice that we had in our First Republic and other jurisdictions, where people were elected on their party ticket They came here, and because of their personal interest, because of persuasion, because of hope of advantage, because of inducement, because of corruption, they jumped to another party without reference to the people who brought them to the August Parliament. This is why we wanted to prevent people from jumping from one party to the other, people from auctioning the mandate they had from their constituencies to come and represent here for their personal interest or welfare. We wanted to prevent that. That is why Article 97 was provided. That is why Article 35 and then 125 were provided. That the will of the people, the decision of the people is supreme, is sovereign. And therefore, whatever you do, you must have recourse to them. With the greater respect, Mr. Speaker, these four people did not have recourse to those who brought them here and decided on their own initiative to abandon their parties and go independent or change another party. And therefore, having done that, they have lost their position as members of their respective parties, and therefore, Article 97 catches them. Mr. Secretary, having said that, the common sense aspect of it is this. Before you go to file your nomination with the Electoral Commission, you have to have a letter from the political party, from your party. The question is, those who are going independent, which party did they get letters to go and file? So, can a party file two candidates? No.
All right, so we took you straight to Parliament, where the minority is moving the Speaker to declare NDC's side as a majority. Well, the case has been argued there. We're not done. We'll bring you more details, and it's the reason why you have to keep your sets right here as we bring you, or we carry the event live in Parliament. Right after this, we're coming back with some more. So just to stay with us, we'll be back soon.
GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Emmys Africa Awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICCU, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience who are also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup, because on a production you see a number of people in the van, and so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets, and so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the truck and do business with it.
It looks huge but very affordable. Cost is really affordable. My experience with it, EMI Awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.
All right, so thank you very much for keeping faith with us. A short while ago, we took you to Parliament, brought you all the updates on the minorities' move to declare some seats vacant and that the MPP cannot hold itself as the majority of the House. Well, we're quickly getting some reactions from the majority. What transpired afterwards? Well, the majority leader, that's Alexander Afenyo-Markins, has filed a writ and an injunction application at the Supreme Court over the minority's decision to trigger Article 97. Let's just quickly listen to him as he engaged the parliamentary press corps.
Some of these controversies are better settled by the courts. So, in my capacity as the majority leader, I have filed a writ at the Supreme Court. Parliament has been duly served. There is an injunction application also attached to the writ, also duly served. Therefore, I believe that if we are going to respect the law, this matter will be placed on ice until the Supreme Court determines the matter. But it's good for democracy. I mean, we are still growing, and there are gray areas. The Constitution is a political document, and a political document which is a living document. It's not to be seen as some static document that must not be given life. So when these issues come up, it helps us to now give effect to what the law envisages. So I do not begrudge Honorable Harune Drusu for bringing this matter up. I'm sure an opportunity will come for us to have a bite on the floor, but an injunction application pens. So I leave that one to Mr. Speaker.
All right, so the big question remains, will the NDC become the majority in Parliament when Parliament resumes? Well, we'll want to stay on the matter. We'll bring you all these details. Your channel should be right here with GHOne TV and our affiliate stations. But that'll do for Insights for tonight. Insights is proudly brought to you by Pepsodent. With Pepsodent, every smile matters. Evening, and we're grateful that you are still with us. Residents of Bujuburam in the central region are demanding compensation from authorities following Monday's tragic explosion, which caused at least 3 deaths and also caused many persons to be injured. Well, our news team visited the community. Some community members who suffered losses were seen gathering debris from their shops and homes. Well, they tell GH1 News that due compensation for what they have lost is the only action from authorities that will calm rising tempers.
When the news team arrived at Bujuburam this morning, residents could be seen going around assessing the extent of damage caused by the explosion. The destruction seemed not to have caused much damage at first glance. However, a stroll into the community behind the shops lined up by the street revealed horrifying experiences from residents, many who had roofs of their homes punctured by flying stones.
Baby, I'm a announcement to you, Januko. But I'm ready. Your announcement to be a man, and I say, I'm a pay abono. And you understand to say, Jenny. Nampasa, they say, Dan, we are showing you some mukun for.
Dan dancing over your basin. Before Babani Batsun or Bob Frederick. Apparently, we also put down 3 minutes per nice. I didn't see Kadan, Baban, another one, member in Banu. I said, Danya, or Bob to your Aquanes room. Yes, I says I'm iron suit and China. Then won't meet them.
This shop owner had the entire glass door to his pharmacy broken.
For us in the shop, it's just by the grace of God that we didn't suffer any casualty in that extent. Cost us about 12,000 Ghana cedis to replace those glasses, and now they are shattered again. And this time around, it's basically the whole glass. So if I'm to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So basically, it may take us twice the amount we spent the other time. So
that's about 24,000.
That's about 24,000 just for the glass doors.
Georgina Ewusi is a resident, and she narrates to us how she watched her father lose his life through the explosion.
I felt a strange sound, and I told him, Daddy, we should just stand up and run because we don't know what is coming. And he was also asking me, I don't really know too. So when I was pulling him for us to leave, I just felt the strange sound clap. So when I came back, I just saw that my daddy was just between the table, bleeding. For him, he don't normally tell us his age, but from last week we were calculating something, and he was saying that roughly he will be at age 61.
Nana Kodo Esol is the chief of Budumburam. He tells the troubled residents not to take the law into their hands. He says the authorities should be allowed to carry out investigations into the explosion and make known their findings.
What's that here? What blessing? Jacob Empire or Bibia? Bibia I'm there. And such a cacan of big blasting, you bow on the way to own. When the Ama Abandam, and Yabandama, and yes, the other said, I say, Mabasinko, woman, you're clear to move, the young from what? Abandon.
As residents await news of any compensation package from authorities, their plea to the contractors is for prior notice ahead of any future explosions. Nurain Abbas, GHOne TV, Budumburam.
Well, you could join us with any of your comments on this particular development. What kind of compensation can really reach out to the people and keep them calm? Well, we would wait for your comments and share it with the rest of the world. Let's now talk about education, where labor issues and politics. And here, the splinter group from the University Teachers Association of Ghana, known as the Silent Majority, want their mother organization to, as a matter of urgency, call off their industrial action and return to the table for dialogue with the government. Well, the group which accused UTAG of not sticking to the motion which called on members to vote for or against organized labor's now cancelled strike against illegal mining, has given the leadership of their mother organization by Friday, October 18, to respond to their demands, else they will advise themselves. Professor Isaac Boedi is a leading member of the Silent Majority, and he addressed the media.
And I know that if you are silent, you are not regarded. I think that's it. So if you check the vote, those who voted yes and no, the yes stood around 2,000 plus. No, if my math serves me right, about 600 or something. So we are silent majority. But the circumstance under which we voted, we have problems. As we speak now, this group came together a few days ago. And I can tell you the number of lecturers who have called to be part of this group. You'll be amazed. We are, by this statement, requesting the following. Immediate action from the national leadership of UTAG by Friday, October 18th, 2024. First, to call off strike immediately. Constitute a team that will monitor the implementation of the government's roadmap to addressing Galamsey menace. Take leadership in inviting all presidential candidates, including the parliamentary candidates in mining constituencies, to sign and publicly declare their support for the national action being taken to address illegal mining in Ghana. We wish to put on record that Our intention is not to undermine the effort of our leadership. It is one union, the fighting for one goal. But to ensure that the right thing is done by all times in the interest of the association and the country.
Well, we'll want to get more details on this. Meanwhile, the National Executive Committee of UTAG has served notice that they are ready to meet with the leadership. All right, so let's do some politics at this moment. And here the Electoral Commission has assured political parties that the Commission will release certified register to them in the first week of November 2024. Well, the Commission has begun an online exhibition exercise across the country as forms part of the efforts of addressing discrepancies in the voter register. Well, the opposition NDC and some political parties say the online exhibition amounts to nothing if those in the rural areas and those without internet cannot access it.
Speaking at an IPAC meeting here in Accra, Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, GHOne Mensah, said the Commission will collaborate with political parties and take feedback in the 5-day exercise. She also revealed that political parties will receive certified copies of the voters' register in the first week of November.
We only declare the voters' choice, and that is what will happen come December 2024. It is who the voter wants to be president of this land who will be declared by the EC. I think that we've had a very good deliberation. As we indicated, we'll provide the certified register to the parties in the first week of November or earlier. And please do not quote me. Do not misquote me.
But the opposition NDC wants the Electoral Commission to reconsider the online exhibition of the voter register. Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is the director of IT of the opposition party, and he has been addressing the media after the IPAC meeting.
We've been helping them all along. If you see all these processes that go through the NDC ingenuity that has helped the Electoral Commission up to this level. And we thought that if you want to go that path and this difficulty of having one by one throughout, why can't you do bulk checking of the data? I mean, that is why we're just trying to assist them in that aspect. And if you saw my technical man, Yaira spoke extensively about it. I mean, well intentioned, we will find a way of getting our people to check their names, and then we'll go and study the PVR they have given us. We'll go and take our time and study it, and then if there are any issues, we will come clean of it. And definitely, whatever we are doing, Ghanaians should rather thank the NDC.
Meanwhile, flag bearer of the Ghana Freedom Party, Ekweadonko, has served notice that she will initiate illegal actions against NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama over his assertions that some presidential candidates do not merit to appear on the ballot paper.
Me catch them one day. I'm penny John Mahama no. What's so I'm penny na? Me dey court. Me dey court. Me patcho me. Me dey court. Me go soon too busy. Trillion me no. Trillion me no na be John Mahama. Say me tea party no one am sikati ya na. Na me ni mo no. Minimum. I don't know what you can say. Any question for me. Now, I'm in any partner, and I said, if you Ghana, my Matthias,
we'll bring you nothing than the best of stories right after this. We're coming back with more. Stay with us. Right, so let's do business at this moment, and here the Ghana Standards Authority says it will begin mandatory certification management systems first mining activities to ensure environmentally safe practices in the country. While speaking during the commemoration of the 2024 World Standards Day, Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Dodu, encouraged Ghanaians to ensure the highest form of standardization of goods on the market and help to curb the importation of smuggled goods.
Each year, October 14 is set aside as World Standards Day to honor the efforts of experts who develop standards within standard development organizations. This year's celebration is focused on changing dynamics of climate change and environmental degradation. Speaking at this year's commemoration in Accra, Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Dodu, bemoaned the impact of illegal mining on standards of water sources and called for a concerted effort to fight the menace. He disclosed that the Ghana Standards Authority, together with the EPA, are working arduously to roll out a mandatory management certification system for mining companies to ensure proper and safe mining practices.
GSA is not just a standards authority, we're also a solutions provider. We provide solutions to solve everything. Currently, GSA serves on the board of the Environmental Protection Agency. This ensures that the work of the EPA is informed by standards developed by us, and indeed the EPA, the Energy Commission, the Petroleum Commission have consistently and regularly called on the GSA to work with them to develop standards that ensure our environment is good. The GSA is a custodian of Ghanaian standards for water.
Speaking on behalf of the Minister of Trade and Industry, representative of Director Standards at Ministry of Trade and Industry, Daniel Soa, assured the public of the government's support towards standardization and also called on stakeholders to support the government to clamp down on illegal mining activities.
Well, all is set for us to bring you the latest updates from our world of sports. Benghazi is here.
We have got news on the Black Stars team, who are unfortunately on the brink of elimination in the ongoing GHOne qualifier. This is of that and many more coming up in sports after this. Stars are set or in danger of missing out at the GHOne for the first time in 20 years after a 2-0 defeat to Sudan at the matches of Benina Stadium in Benghazi, Libya. Sudan capitalized on the poor defending. Ghana 2 quick goals in the second half. Sudan, of course, got the first goal through a counter-attack when Ahmed Al-Tash scored second minute to score the opener for the Sudanese team. Mohamed Abdulrahman then outpaced Mohamed Salisu to score Sudan's second goal with a short pass past Ati Ziggy 3 minutes later. Ghana struggled to respond with the game ending 2-0 in favor of Sudan. So as it stands now, Angola, who also beats Niger by 1-0, lead the table by 12 points and have qualified for the GHOne, followed by Sudan, who currently have 7 points. Ghana is now third with 2 points ahead of Niger, who have just 1 point. And I can tell you for a fact, even though mathematically it's possible, but realistically it is over for the Black Stars. They can't qualify for next year's GHOne to be held in Morocco. That's a disastrous happening to the Black Stars team. In some 2 decades, Ghana missing out at GHOne after a defeat against Sudan this afternoon in Benghazi. Still on that piece of news, head coach for Sudan, Kwesi Appiah, says it's unfortunate that only one team can progress after the crucial encounter between Ghana and Sudan. Speaking to the media after the game, the former Black Stars coach highlighted that it's pure joy, bringing smiles back to the faces of his people back home in Sudan.
Every game is serious. The next game, you try to get at least a win to qualify automatically.
What do you say for the big fans strength?
The fans? Yeah, always when we come here, Libya is Sudanese home. You know, when we come here, we have a lot of Sudanese in Libya, and they all come to support us, which is very good. And that's why we have chosen here as our home. It's unfortunate because Ghana has a good team, and it's unfortunate that one of us, either Ghana or us, has to go out. And Unfortunately for Ghana, Sudan has beaten them, so automatically Sudan will have to go.
So Sudan is going, Ghana is out as it stands now for the AFCON next year. Well, still Black Stars. Anyway, that's it for sports. Back to Kweku for the rest of the news.
Well, thank you very much, Benghazi, in my hometown in Kukwinti. Akwesiapia. All right, so that's about it for the bulletin. My name is Kweku Temeng. Thank you so much for staying with us. On behalf of the entire production team tonight, I want to salute you and say enjoy the rest of your evening, but keep your channel right here. This is News Tonight on GHOne TV.